Shalom, shalom. In today's Legend from the Zohar, we are going to start on a new journey discussing the gates of holiness and the gates of unholiness. We'll start off with the first chamber from the other side, the empty pit, the Satan of the evil inclination. We hear that the first chamber is called a pit empty of everything. Whoever enters it has nothing to cling to, nothing to stop him from falling. Rabbi Shimon describes the pit and all the chieftains and other spirits of unholiness who judge and torment the condemned soul. This chamber is prepared for those who cursed and who threw things in anger. The first chamber is the beginning of the evil inclination. The first chamber is called a pit empty of everything. Whoever enters it has nothing to cling to keep him from falling. Everyone pushes so he will fall and will not rise. There is no support for the good in it. One chieftain called Duma stands in this chamber. He stands above in the third chamber of the other side, and below, here in the first chamber, he seizes the soul when it is turned down from the holy chamber by the chieftain Taharael. Duma stands by the gate of the holy side, namely by the gate of the first chamber of holiness. Duma stands there in order to take hold of the soul and draw it into the chambers of defilement, and several complaints and accusers stand with him. Under the chieftain Duma, there is another chief, and thousands and tens of thousands beneath him. This chief is called Petut. His job is to seduce Lefatot, people. He hovers by the soul and entices it to look closely at him, at what he must not see, of much whoring and lechery. And all the angels with him stand by it and walk before it, and force it to avert its eyes to look at what it must not see. Petut is an evil mediator who entices to all those evils. He stands by the grave once the body is sentenced and crushes the eyes. For he earned them while the body was his in this world, and said they are his. In this place, the grave, the soul is sentenced until it is put in the place called pit, where there are some serpents and scorpions, which are demons. They all bite the soul, grasp, and punish it. In front of the spirit Petut, there is another spirit of unholiness above them all. He is in charge over this chamber, and all therein travel by his prompting. He is called Gamgima, red as a rose, always ready to cause evil. When the prayer of man is turned down, and he gets no merit for it, then the spirit Gamgima rises to join the highest spirit of defilement, the Satan. He then blames from above, and remembers the sins of men before the Holy One, blessed be he. This is known from the verse, and the adversary came also among them, Job 1:6. It is not written, and the adversary came, but the adversary came also, Gam, referring to the spirit Gamgima, that shared the Satan's accusation. Several other complaints depend upon this evil spirit. Their duty is to grasp the evil words, or filth, uttered by man, and afterwards holy words. Woe to them, woe to their lives. For these men enable these complaints to rule over the holy place and render it defective. Woe to them in this world, woe to them in the world to come. For these spirits of defilement take the unholy word uttered, and when he afterwards says something that pertains to holiness, the evil spirits hasten to take the unholy word, and with it defile the holy word. And so man does not merit holiness, and the power of holiness weakens. Over these there is a chief called Saf Serita, together with complainants. They take the evil things the man said, and also what he threw when he was angry. The chieftain, Saf Serita, then holds the object the man threw in his anger, ascends and says, "This is the offering of so-and-so, who sacrificed to our side." For as the side of rest is of the right side, and of the side of faith So the side of anger is of the other, evil and unholy side. Therefore, whoever throws something in his anger, all those of the evil side, take what was thrown, raise it as an offering to that side, and say, this is the offering of so-and-so. The crier resounds in all these firmaments, woe to so-and-so, who went after a strange El and worshipped another El. The crier resounds again, saying, woe to them, for they have fled from me. Hosea 7:13. Happy is the man who is careful in his ways, not to turn aside to right or left, to fall into a deep pit from which he cannot ascend. With that, we have concluded the first chamber. In our next video, we'll do the second chamber. And as for one point that needs to be made, is here the adversary came, is Hashatan. Hashatan. These names of angels are very powerful and should not be taken lightly. We also learn that a person should not turn right or left lest they fall into a pit which they cannot ascend. Shalom Selah.